Hi guys, welcome to Yogalates with SJ and to this full body sculpting workout. So you don't need any equipment for this, and we are going to be here for just over 30 minutes. So just taking some time here to arrive, coming to the front of your mat and then taking a fold forward. So coming all the way down into your fold and just staying here for a moment, letting the head be heavy, maybe softness into those knees, and then you're starting to bend through the knees, lifting the heels up towards the glutes, and then you are rounding forward and then lifting the pelvis up towards the ceiling, and then generously bending through the knees as you start to lower the pelvis down, lifting the heels towards the back of the glutes, and then lowering the heels down, lifting the pelvis up, and then letting the pelvis be heavy as you start to come back towards the heels, lifting up high, keeping the head tucked down, and then lifting the pelvis back up as you relax the head, the arms, and then starting to bend generously through those knees as you let the pelvis drop down, keeping that rounding into the spine, so keeping the head tucked in towards the knees, and then starting to lift the pelvis up really high, finding length through the back of the legs and letting the belly relax to the top of the legs, letting the arms relax down, head is heavy, and taking some deep breaths here. And then starting it to slowly sink back down. So letting the pelvis be heavy, finding length into the back body, and then you are starting to lift the pelvis all the way back up, and then starting to lower the pelvis back down as you start to lift up high onto the toes, and finding that really nice long line from the top of the head all the way out the tailbone, and then you are starting to straighten through the back of those legs as you lift the pelvis back up towards the ceiling. So continuing with this and really starting to allow that pelvis to be even heavier each time you sink it down towards the earth, and you are also at the same time keeping an engagement into the core and really finding that beautiful long line through the back body. So you've got the shoulders away from the ears and the head is in the same line as the rest of the back, and then you are starting to straighten through the back of the legs as you lift the hips all the way back up. Now let's stay here, starting to walk the fingertips over towards the right side of your mat. And you can softly bend into the knees if you like, or you can have straighter legs here, and then walking the fingertips over to the other side. And then starting to walk the fingertips all the way back through center, and then generously bending into the knees as you start to sit the pelvis back towards the heels, and then lifting the hips up, stepping the feet back, coming to your first downward facing dog. Taking a moment here to find the heels starting to sink towards the mat, and making sure that there's some space across the back body so the shoulders are not up towards the ears. You've got your weight even through both sides of the body. Maybe you're bending through one knee and then the other, walking the dog, just letting the hips be high, and finding a deep breath in through the nose and out the nose or mouth. And then on your next inhale, you're starting to just bring the right knee in towards the belly, then bringing the foot back down, and then the left knee comes in towards the belly, and then sinking that foot back. And keeping this going, so right knee comes in, and then bringing the foot back, sinking the heel, and then left knee comes in, and then bringing the foot back, sinking the heel. Switching sides, so making sure that as you do this, you keep the belly button to spine, you've got the hips lifted the whole time, and you are using your core to draw that knee in, and then as you bring the foot back, you are sinking the heel down. This time when you come to that right side, bringing the knee across towards the other side of the body, and then switching over. So left knee to right hip, and then bringing the foot back down and switching over, and then continuing with this. So making sure the whole time that you have got your core engaged and you are keeping everything else really still here. So it is just that knee moving to cross across the body, coming back through center. Now we're staying here and you're starting to pedal out the feet, and then on your next inhale, just starting to come to a three-legged dog as the right leg lifts, and then bringing the foot all the way through, placing the foot down and high lunge, starting to reach the arms up, and then starting to frame that front foot as you come all the way down, coming back to your three-legged dog, right leg lifts, and then core engaged, bringing that knee in towards the heart center, placing the foot forward, high lunge, reaching the fingertips up, and then floating the hands back down and coming to your three-legged dog, and then back through to that lunge. So knee comes all the way through and lifting up tall, shoulders away from the ears, high lunge, and then starting to come all the way back to your three-legged dog. Nice work. This is challenging, you guys. Keep this going, just trying to find an even higher lift up as you come up, making sure that front knee is not going forward of the toes, and you've got your weight even through both feet. You can move at your own pace here, making sure that you are honoring whatever's going on for you today. Now the left hand is coming down onto your mat as you start to reach the right fingertips up, looking up towards the ceiling, and then you are starting to frame that front foot, coming back through center, untucking the back toes and starting to press the hips back as you bring the head to knee, finding length through the back of the leg. Taking a deep breath in here and then exhale out, tucking the back toes under as you start to use your core to lift you up, reaching the fingertips up, finding a low lunge here, and then floating the hands down, framing the foot as you start to press the hips back, lifting the toes towards the face, and then inhale, coming up, really finding even more length as you reach up, closing the ribs, core is engaged, and then framing the front foot as you start to press the hips back, head to knee, finding length through the back of the leg. Keep this going, guys, as you continue to flow from one movement into the next, really finding a connection to your breath as well. So as you inhale, coming up, reaching up, shoulders away from the ears. As you exhale, you are letting the head come down towards the knees, pressing the hips back, keeping the hips really square here so that you're not rocking over to one side or the other. You are pressing those hips straight back and finding a really nice release into the spine, the back of the neck, and then next time you frame that front foot, we are coming all the way back up, three-legged dog, reaching that right leg, and then you are stepping the foot all the way through, coming to wild thing, opening up through that front side of the body, and then bringing the hand back down and coming back through center, and inhale as the left leg comes up, three-legged dog. Exhale, placing the foot back down, downward facing dog. Just taking a moment here to find your breath, making sure that you have got your weight even through both feet, through both hands, letting the head be heavy, maybe nodding the head yes, shaking the head no. Maybe you're bending through the knees, bringing one knee in towards the belly and then the other. And imagine that you're trying to bring your belly towards the top of the legs here as you lift the hips up high. Inhale as the left leg comes up, three-legged dog. Exhale as the knee comes in towards the heart center, placing the foot forward, and then coming to your high lunge, reaching the arms up, and then exhale as you frame that front foot and lengthening the leg back, three-legged dog, and then coming forward again, knee comes in towards the heart center, finding your balance here, reaching the arms up into your high lunge, framing that front foot with the hands as you start to sweep the leg back, three-legged dog. So keep this going, guys. Beautiful work, moving at your own pace, finding your breath, connecting into this and flowing freely, really connecting into every single muscle here today. So we are getting such an amazing strengthening, lengthening, toning, all of the good things in this workout, and it's only just over 30 minutes. It's about 35 minutes, and you are getting such a beautiful full body workout, as well as really connecting into every part of the body. So really finding your mind going to every muscle here, really connecting in. And next time you come down, you are starting to reach the left fingertips up, right hand comes down onto your mat, looking up towards the ceiling here, and then we are bringing the arm all the way back and framing that front foot with the hands, and then we are starting to drop the back knee down, and you are finding that length through the back of the leg, pressing the hips back, head comes down towards the knee as you start to lift the toes up towards the face, and then as you inhale, starting to press the hips forward and reaching the fingertips up, low lunge, and then exhale as you bring the head down towards the knee, belly comes to the top of the leg, hips are square here, and then you are coming all the way forward to your low lunge. If you want to make this more challenging, of course you can lift that back knee up, but this is all about endurance as well, so really moving at a pace that feels super challenging, but also where you're able to maintain awesome form the whole time throughout the workout. Nice work, keep this going, and making sure you're connecting your breath here. Next time the hands come down onto the mat, we are staying here, and you are starting to come back and lifting the hips up, bringing the head to knee, finding length through both legs, and then three-legged dog. Left leg comes all the way up, and then you're opening out into your wild thing. So stepping that leg all the way over, opening that top arm out, finding openness through the whole front side of the heart, the shoulder, and then bringing the hand back through center and bringing the knee all the way in towards the belly, placing the foot down. Now we're going to start to make little steps forward. So staying in this fold here, you're going to start to step one foot directly in front of the other, and then you are alternating. So bending generously into the knees as much as you like here, and trying to have the feet in line. So really just letting there be no space between the toes of the back foot and the heel of the front foot, and really keeping the hips lifted towards the ceiling as you do this, keeping the whole torso, the upper body relaxed down. Maybe you're moving through the head and neck a little bit as well, wiggling through the jaw. Once you come all the way up towards the top of the mat, staying here in your fold and just finding your weight is even through the soles of both feet. Maybe letting the head rock from side to side. Maybe you're taking some deep breaths here in through the nose and out the mouth. You might tuck the hands underneath the toes and the feet here. If you want to deepen this stretch, maybe finding a bending of the knees generously and then lifting the hips up even higher towards the ceiling. Finding a really nice stretch into the glutes, the hamstrings, the back of the legs. Just letting the belly relax onto the top of those legs. Maybe you're moving the head, neck in some way. Just taking some deeper breaths in through the nose and out the nose or mouth. Releasing. Maybe you're starting to bend through one knee and then the other. So finding as you do this, you're keeping those hips really square towards the ceiling. So even though one knee is bending and the other one is straight, you're still keeping that same level of the hips towards the ceiling. And then starting to come back through center, untucking the hands from under the feet, and then sweeping the arms back, bending into the knees as you drop the pelvis down, reaching the arms forward, chair. And then as you exhale, you are straightening through the back of the legs, head comes down towards the knees, folding down, and then coming back to your chest, setting the pelvis back, bending through the knees, reaching the fingertips, and then lifting the hips high as you bring the head down, reaching the arms back, keeping this going. So we are moving from our chair And then we're coming back to that fold as we reach the arms back behind you, and then setting the hips back down towards the mat as you start to come down into your chair. Now, as you continue with this, I want you to make sure that those knees are not going forward of the toes. So you're really sitting back into the heels with this chair position, and you are also keeping your core engaged. So belly button comes back to the spine, and you're keeping that engagement of core as you move from your fold into your chair. Nice. Next time you come down, we are going to start to step the feet back into a downward facing dog. So staying here, just taking some time, finding anything that feels good with this. Maybe it's pedaling out the legs, maybe it's staying in stillness. And then we are moving from this to a hovering tabletop. So you're starting to come from your down dog, and then you're dropping the knees, finding a hovering position with a really nice lengthening into the spine. So it's like a tabletop position, but you are not dropping those knees all the way down. I want you to make sure as you do this, you do not lift the head up too high and you don't drop it down too low. So you're really keeping the head in that same line as the rest of the back, and you are sinking the heels down as you come to your down dog, and then you are coming back to your tabletop and then back to your down dog. Let's stay here, guys, in downward facing dog, and we are taking a moment here to just bend into the elbows. So from your down dog, you're just bending the elbows, keeping the shoulders away from the ears, and you are lowering down just a little bit, keeping length through the back of the neck, and then you're coming back to your downward facing dog again. So straightening through the back of the arms here and lifting the hips up high, and then bending the elbows just a little bit. Elbows go straight back, and then we are lengthening back up to our downward facing dog. Nice work. Let's come all the way back down and coming to child's pose. So sinking the pelvis back towards the heels, and then staying here in your fold, in your child's pose, keeping the chin tucked down towards the chest. You're rolling all the way up to a kneeling position. So head arrives last, releasing the arms down, and then inhale, sweeping the arms up and finding a little back bend here. Keeping length through the lower back, engaging softly into the core as you come all the way forward, and pressing the hips back, reaching the arms forward as you come to your child's pose, and then shifting from child's pose and coming to your tabletop, and then tucking the toes and lifting the hips, coming to downward facing dog. So taking a moment here, deep breath in through the nose and out the nose or mouth, finding the shoulders away from the ears, and then bending generously into those knees as you bringing those knees in towards the belly, and then you are lowering the knees down and untuck the toes, bringing the pelvis down towards the heels, child's pose. And then as you inhale, keeping the head tucked down, chin to chest, rolling the spine, coming all the way up to your kneeling position, shoulders away from the ears, palms facing forward. Inhale, sweeping the arms up, looking up. Exhale, and then pressing the hips forward, finding that back bend, keeping length through the lower back, and keeping your core engaged as you start to use your core to draw you all the way forward, and coming back to your child's pose, sitting the pelvis back, lengthening the arms forward, and then inhale, shifting forward, finding length through the whole back, finding that tabletop position, and then you are coming back to your downward facing dog, lifting the hips, sinking the heels, finding some deep breaths here, breathing in, cleansing breaths in through the nose, out the nose or mouth, and then on your next inhale, you are starting to shift the hips forward, and you are sitting the pelvis back as you start to sink back to your child's pose, lengthening the arms forward, belly comes to the top of the legs. Now staying here in this fold, keeping the chin tucked to the chest as you roll the spine vertebra by vertebra to come all the way back up to your kneeling position. Head arrives last, shoulders come down and away from the ears. Inhale, sweeping the arms up as you look up. Exhale, hands come down through prayer, through that center line, and then pressing the hips back, lengthening the arms forward, child's pose. Forehead comes down towards the earth, and taking a deep breath in here, belly expands. Exhale as you release all the way down, relaxing the arms, relaxing the pelvis, the glutes, the belly. And then on your next inhale, you are keeping that rounding of the spine as you shift the hips forward, coming to your tabletop and then dropping the belly, lifting the gaze, lifting the pelvis up. And then as you start to round back, you're bringing the chin down towards the chest, tucking the tailbone and sitting back towards the heels. And then on your next inhale, starting to bend into the elbows as you start to lift the pelvis up, shifting the hips forward, gaze comes up, tailbone up. Exhale as you round back again into the spine, rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone, chin comes down towards the chest as you start to keep this rounding into the spine and letting the tailbone come back towards the heels. And then you are bending into the elbows as you start to drop the belly, shifting forward, gaze comes up, tailbone up, and then exhale, rounding back, chin to chest, keeping that C shape into the spine, tucking the tailbone as you start to keep that tucking of the tailbone, coming back towards the back of the heels. Inhale, belly drops down, gaze comes up, lifting the pelvis up and coming back to open up through the front side of the heart. And then exhale as you round back again, coming all the way back. This time keeping the chin tucked all the way down, the pelvis comes to the back of the heels. Soft core engagement, inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale as you bring the arms all the way back down. We are coming to a seated position. So just taking your time to find a comfortable seat. It can be any kind of cross-legged position, and maybe you're moving the fleshy parts of the glutes to either side, finding that beautiful long line from the tailbone all the way out the top of the head. And then inhale as you bring the left arm forward, crossing the body and opening the shoulder out, and then coming to do the same thing on the other side. So we are finding this really nice openness across the front side of the shoulder. And with this, keeping your ribs closed, keeping your core engaged. And then next time you come over to the right side, just bringing the right hand out as far as you can to that right side. Left arm comes up and over, gazing underneath the armpit, and then keeping your core engaged. Inhale, coming all the way up, reaching the fingertips up. Exhale as you bring the chin to chest and the fingertips come forward. And then inhale, coming all the way back up, lengthening those fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then left arm starts to float down out to the side, and then lifting it back up, and then right arm comes down to that right side. So we're alternating from side to side with this. And as you do this, we are keeping the ribs closed, the core is engaged, so belly button back towards the spine, shoulders away from the ears. Next time you come over through center, you are maintaining this, and we are starting to bring the arms all the way around in one direction. So keeping the shoulders down and away from the ears, and then reversing. So it's almost as though you've got this kind of beach ball that you're holding, and you are bringing it all the way around and lifting it up overhead again. Softness into the elbows, shoulders away from the ears. So we're going in one direction and then the other. As you do this as well, noticing that core connection to this. So we are actually working into all the core muscles here, maintaining that connection, belly button to spine. And then next time you come back through center, you are starting to bring the arms forward, reaching a little bit further, and then we are coming all the way around, lifting the fingertips up towards the ceiling, and then coming all the way around to one side through center, and then to the other side, and then lifting all the way back up towards the ceiling, and then lowering the arms down, and then reversing this. So arms come all the way up, and then coming all the way back through center, and then let's stay here. This time we're going to start to bring both arms out to the sides, and then you are starting to reach the right fingertips over towards the left side. reaching as far forward as you can, and then coming all the way to bring both arms over to the right side, and then coming back through center, and then coming over to the left side. So we are reaching as far forward as you can, and then you are coming back through center, rolling the spine, coming all the way back up, and then inhale as you reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling, palms facing inward, shoulders away from the ears, and bringing the shoulder blades and the shoulders to come back as you reach the arms forward and hinging from the hips, placing the hands down, starting to walk the hands all the way forward, as far forward as you can, as you inhale, as you exhale, starting to allow the forehead to come down, allowing the heart to melt down, and relaxing here in your fold. Taking a few deep breaths here in through the nose, feeling the belly expanding, and as you exhale, starting to allow the pelvis to be heavier, letting everything relax down. And then on your next inhale, keeping the chin tucked, rolling the spine, coming all the way back up, sitting up tall, and we are starting to lengthen the left leg forward, and we are bringing the right foot, the back of the heel, coming in as close as you can towards that glute, and we're finding a twist here. Bringing the back of the left arm to the outside of the right knee as you gaze over towards that right side, and then unravel, coming back through center and hugging the knee in as close towards you as you can. You might now take the back of the knee, or maybe you're grabbing hold of the foot, or maybe you are bringing the two-piece fingers to the inside of the big toe and second toe, straightening the leg out as much as you can here, and then you are bending into the knee. As you open the knee out, the hip opens out, drawing the sole of the foot to the inner thigh, and then finding that length again as you lengthen back out. So as you continue with this, just making sure that you've got a little bit of a flex into the left toes towards the face, so you're not locking out through the joint of the knee, and you are also keeping your core softly engaged, closing the ribs here, finding that the whole pelvis is keeping you really supported in this position. And then next time you draw that foot in, just staying here, and we are just finding some movement into the left ankle, maybe wiggling through the toes, and then you are bringing that right leg to come out straight as well. This time we're starting to bring the left knee in, so just bringing it in as close as what it wants to come towards the heart center or the belly, and then we're finding a twist on this side. So just taking the back of that right upper arm to come to the outside of the left knee, and you are gazing over that left shoulder here. And then inhale, exhale, unravel, coming back through center. We are sitting up tall, keeping that core engagement, grabbing hold of somewhere on the leg or the foot, and we are starting to straighten the leg out, and then bending into the knee as you open the hip out, bringing the sole of the foot to come in towards the inner thigh, and then we are finding that length again, and then drawing it back in. So again, we are making sure that the right leg, so your right foot, is still got that flex into the toes, so that we aren't locking out through that right knee joint. And making sure that you're breathing here. Maybe you're just moving a little bit into the feet, the ankles, anything that feels good. Next time you bring that foot in, let's just stay here and just taking some time to find some movement into that right foot. Maybe it's circling the ankle, sitting up nice and tall here out of those sit bones, and shoulders are relaxed down the spine here. And then we are starting to lengthen the left leg out, bringing that right knee in towards the belly, and then straightening the leg back out again, and let's sit up nice and tall. So flexing the toes back towards the face, and then softly bending into the knees as you lift the pelvis up a little bit. So seeing if you can lift the pelvis up slightly and then pressing into those heels and then flexing the toes back towards the face as you start to just let the pelvis be heavy into your mat. Nice. This time we're just going to start to find a reverse tabletop. So you are bringing the fingertips to face forward, the hands are coming next to the pelvis, and then you are pressing the hips up high, finding an openness across the front side of the heart center, and then you are starting to bring the pelvis to come all the way back down towards the mat. Maybe you are keeping a hovering here of the pelvis, so maybe you're not letting the pelvis come all the way down. So you're really working into the glutes here as well as the core, the whole body. And then next time you come down, let's find a fold forward. So just letting the head come down towards the knees, and you might grab hold of somewhere on the feet, or maybe you are just letting the arms relax to either side of the legs, just taking some deep breaths. And then when you inhale next, just starting to roll all the way up, reaching the arms up, keeping your core engaged. Circle sweep the arms all the way around, keeping that core engagement, reaching the fingertips towards the feet. Belly button comes back to the spine as you reach the fingertips as far forward as you can, shoulders away from the ears, rolling the spine vertebra by vertebra, coming all the way down. And then you are circle sweeping the arms all the way around. You are hugging the left knee in towards the left shoulder. Any kind of movement with this that feels awesome. Maybe you're moving through the feet, the toes, maybe you're rocking the head from side to side. Inhale as you squeeze that knee in. Exhale as you release the leg. Arms come up overhead, reaching, and then circle sweep the arms around as you draw the right knee in. And finding that deep breath here, in through the nose, out the nose or mouth. Any movement with this as well. Maybe moving through the toes, the feet, the ankles, and taking a deep breath in as you draw the knee in. Exhale as you start to release the leg. Arms come up overhead, and then circle sweep the arms around as you draw both knees in towards the heart center. And any movement here that you want to do, maybe it is to find a hug of the knees, maybe you want to find a happy baby here, maybe starting to flex the toes back towards the face as you start to press the heels up towards the ceiling, maybe bending generously into those knees as you hold on to somewhere on the feet. Maybe you're letting the hips open out, letting the feet drop down towards the pelvis. So just having some fun with this. Maybe you're bending through one leg and then the other, and really feeling into how this feels in your body, letting the pelvis stay really heavy, finding the tailbone still lengthening out towards the end of your mat here. And then we're going to either find just simply a floating of the legs up, so you might want to be in a waterfall, or maybe you're finding a shoulder stand here in an inversion as we start to finish off. So just letting there be length through the back of the neck, and you are placing the hands to the sacrum or the lower back as you start to lengthen the legs up towards the ceiling, keeping the core engaged. Maybe from here you might be letting the knees come towards the ears as you let the feet fall heavy to the back of the room, making sure that you're not letting the head move to either side, so you've still got that neutral position of the head. You've got length through the back of the neck, and you're also in a place where you can still breathe really well. So never ever coming into any kind of pain or a place where you're not able to find those deeper breaths. If you have brought the legs all the way over, you might come back through to your shoulder stand, and then starting to engage into the core as you start to roll the spine all the way back down, keeping the legs as close into the front side of the torso as you can, rolling the spine vertebra by vertebra, coming all the way back down, and taking your time to drop the back of the heels down. Maybe you're hugging the knees in. One last time. We're going to find a really nice roll of the spine to finish off. So you might just bring the arms to come into the inside of the legs and then holding on to the feet as you start to just find a core engagement using your core to start to roll you backwards and forwards. So we're not really using momentum here. We are literally just letting the core do all of the work, keeping the chin tucked in towards the chest and rolling the spine. This should feel really, really good here. If it doesn't feel good to have the arms in this way with the hips out wide, then you might just do this by just bringing the knees in together and just rolling like a ball and keeping that core engaged, eventually making your way all the way up to a seated position. Well done, you guys. You're all done. I hope you have an incredible rest of your day, and I can't wait to see you again soon. If you enjoyed this workout, be sure to subscribe. There are free workouts every single week, and it would be amazing to have you join me again. Take care.